All right. This one is a filled-in Venn diagram. So the three circle Venn diagrams, you have to think about it this way. You have to start in the middle and work your way out always, just like you did with the two circle Venn diagrams, right? Except there's more pieces. This middle piece here, this 6, what do you think it represents? What's in all of them? What about this 1 and 6? What's in the P and the C? So if they said P and C only, you'd put in this little piece here, correct? But if they say P and C, what are you going to have to do? Subtract off the middle, right? So that's how we're going to have to work from middle out, okay? Each of these separate circles meets themselves, so C and D and P. And then the snowman, P or D, would be the full snowman. If they said P or D but not C, it would be everything but the C parts of the snowman, right? So we have to work our way from inside out, and we're going to subtract unless it says only. We always work out and we do the alls first. Oh, there we are. We do the alls first. You're welcome if you get to watch this ever. You're welcome. Okay, because it's gonna be awfully loud, because I'm awfully loud as it is, and then that's just, there you go. Okay, so alls first, and then you go to ands, and then you do ors, and the very last thing you're going to do is each separate one. Okay, that's the order you have to do them all in. So three circle venns, you're going to do in the order and, or sorry, all, not and, that's a lie. All three, then your ands, then your ors, then the single circles. So that's how we're going to fill them in when we start doing them ourselves. And most of the time they're not filled in, we have to fill them in. All right. So how many students watched only Pulp Fiction? So we're looking here. We have Pulp Fiction, we have Crash, and we have Die Hard. So P, C, and D. How many people watched only Pulp Fiction? 3. How many students watched Pulp Fiction? 11. Because we go to the Pulp Fiction circle and we add up every number that's in it. 3, 9, 10, 11. All right, what happens if I have Crash and Die Hard? They say Crash and Die Hard only? Crash and Die Hard only would be 2. What's Crash and Die Hard? Where did they overlap? Look at the 2 Crash and Die Hard circles. Where do they overlap? 6 and 2, right? So how many are there? 8? It's just Crash and Die Hard. Where do they overlap? The Crash and the Die Hard circle, where do they overlap? Like if I shaded both of them, where would the double shading be? Right? Remember and? Remember and is double shading? So if I shaded Crash and I shaded Die Hard, this shading represents what? If I don't erase anything, what does that represent? Or. Wait, look, woo, there it is. So let's add them up. 1 and 68 and 2. So we're going to go 76, 77, 80, 90. What? Someone said 45. What? 95. I was like, someone said 40. What? This one has 68. I'm like, are we subtracting? 95. We agree. And then and would be where the 2 colors are, right? That's why it was 6 and 2, which is 8. So if you're stuck, please shade them. If it's and, it's where they double up. Or it's where they don't double up. I'd rather you shade than get them wrong. And shading isn't incorrect, so I'd rather you shade all the time, but whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. How many watched all 3? Oh my God. 6. This thing is driving me crazy. Falling off my ear. Okay. What does the number 2 outside the circles represent? The people who don't watch any of the 3 movies. What about the 2 inside? Only watch Crash and Die Hard, or watch Crash and Die Hard only. Okay? So understanding the 3 circles isn't hard. It's actually drawing them that's sometimes the most difficult part. But we work from inside out. We do all, and, or single circles. All, and, or single circles. The only ones you can put in immediately without going in that order is if they say only. If they said Die Hard and Crash only is 2, I could instantly go put a 2 in there because I don't have to subtract, right? So let's look at 7. Shannon's high school starts a campaign to encourage students to use green transportation for traveling to and from school. At the end of the first semester, Shannon's class surveys the 750 students in the school. So we know in the Venn diagram, we need to have 750. Where do people run amok? When they get more than 750 after they've filled in all the circles. When you add up everything in the box, it should add to 750, right? If you're at 800, something is wrong. You probably didn't subtract when you should have. Okay? 370 students use public transit, 100 cycled and used public transit, 80 walked and used public transit. Anything say only yet? No, so we're going to be subtracting a lot, correct? 35 students walked and cycled. 20 students walked, cycled, and used public transit. 445 cycled or public transit. 265 students walked or cycled. Where are we going to start here? Nope, we have the middle. What's the middle? 20. And we're going to label them. Walk, cycle, public transit. If you labeled it different, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you put it in the right spot. So 20. Then I'm going to cross that off because it's done. So we finished the all. Now what do we do? We go from smallest shape to largest shape, just so you know, kind of. We go all, and then we do our ands, right? The ands are the shape of an eyeball. Like, you don't believe me, but like if I went like this, that's an eyeball. Yeah, okay. Ooh, what was I doing there? Okay, 20. So we go to ands. We can start with any ands we want. 35 students walked and cycled. So I go to walk and cycle, and it's this eyeball shape here, right? In this eyeball shape here, I need to have 35. How many do I have? 20. So how many walked and cycled only? 15. Do you see why it's important to work from inside out? Because you're going to have to subtract, and if you work from outside in, what are you going to do? It's going to be a mess. Okay, 80 walked and used public transit. So in this little eyeball shape, I need 80. How many are already in it? 20. How many walked in public transit only? 60. When 100 students cycled and public transit. 100. How many cycled in public transit only? 80. Do you see how I have the Holy Trinity right there? Yeah, you see that? It's like the Spirit, God in there. There's so many things. And we have public transit. Ah, green life. Good. Okay. So I said all, then I said and, then I said or. Right? Now, we could go to singles as well. Why could we go to singles as well? We can go to singles sometimes, and sometimes or some. It depends on which one we have, okay? I put or then singles. This should really be like this. Should be a double-edged arrow, okay? We can only do the one next where we're only missing one number. So if we go to do ors right now, we actually can't. Because if I did or of this one, how many numbers am I missing? 2. You can't just add them up and divide by 2 and put them in there. Don't be that person. You can't do that. Okay? This or is this snowman. If I did this snowman, what would happen? I'm missing 2. Can I do any snowmans right now? I'd be missing 2. So what do I actually have to do first? Singles. Often you end up doing the singles first over the ors anyways, because the singles are good. But when's the only time you can't do a single? Is if in that circle you're missing more than one spot, right? You can only do where you're missing a spot. That's why we could do the ands next, because when I did the ands, I only had one spot missing, right? So now I can actually do the singles. So what I should have wrote actually was all and single or. The odd time you can do the or first, but that's only if it's already filled in. Like, because you have to have one of the full circles filled in order to do or, right? Okay. So we can do, this is the only one we can do. 370 students use public transit. So some people go here and they go 370. Are they right? Does it say public transit only? No, it just says public transit. So we go to the public transit circle, this whole circle here, and we go 370 minus 160, so 210. So we actually have 210. We don't have 370, we have 210, right? Now can we do some ors? We can only do the or, we still can't do the walk or cycle. Why can't we do the walk or cycle? We don't have either of them filled in fully, right? So we have to do this one second. So we have to do the cycle and public transit. The cycle or public transit is this snowman here. What am I missing? Cycle only, right? Is that okay now to do it? I'm only missing one thing, right? So now I'm going to go 445 minus 210. So minus 370 minus 385. 60? It's minus 370? No. I can't even remember what I said. 60? It's just 60, right? Now can I do the walk or cycle? Yes. So now I'm going to go 265 minus 120, 220, 235, 30, I think. Yeah. Now, this is the last thing that everyone forgets to do. Unless it says all of the students use one form of this transportation, we assume there's probably some who don't, some who drive. They're like, nope, I don't need green stuff. I'm not saving the environment. I'm going to drive my car. So we go 750 minus all of those. 475, 25 to 500, 275. So now it says, how many students use green transportation for traveling to and from the school? How many was it? 475? And now you could answer any questions, right? You could answer who uses walking only? I'm sure. Who uses walking only as if it's a thing? Who walks only? Who only walks to school? That's much better. 30, yes. Who or how many people walk? What's up, homie? Yeah. How many people walk? 135. How'd you get that? 80, 90. Nope, not 135. 125. Yeah. So this one, right? We'd add up the whole walk circle. We agree? Okay. I'm going to give you some questions